Just 6 weeks until the flow of goods into Northern Ireland could change significantly. A prospect the government has said it's willing to break international law in a, quote, very specific and limited way to prevent. Brexit is a game of trade and chess between the UK and the EU. But this weekend, a third player took a seat at the board, and he might just be taking sides.
Mr. Biden, a quick word for the BBC.
The BBC, I'm Irish.
I'm Irish, President-elect Biden told the BBC back in January. A declaration that echoed throughout the town in County Mayo, where his great-great-grandfather was from, and throughout Westminster, where the Prime Minister's Internal Markets Bill made its way to the House of Lords. In Northern Ireland, Sinn Féin say Boris Johnson is jeopardising the Good Friday Agreement, which Joe Biden played a part in engineering.
What he has done is run a coach and horses right through the Good Friday Agreement.
Do you think that a trade deal with the US now is more or less likely?
Well, I mean, I think I would hold Joe Biden to his word. He said very clearly there won't be a trade deal. The Nancy Pelosi, other key American figures in the political world have said there will not be a trade deal if you breach international agreement and any way put in jeopardy the Good Friday Agreement. I have no reason to misdoubt that they will hold themselves to that word.
But peace here, say the government, is at the heart of the Internal Markets Bill.
Well, the government believes that this is actually crucial to standing by the Good Friday Agreement. It ensures that we can have economic and social stability in Northern Ireland.
When you read about that bill in tomorrow's press, chances are the paper it's printed on came through here.
And then where do you ship it to?
We will ship the goods from here to anywhere in the UK and Ireland.
The talk might now be about the impact on a UK-US trade deal. The deal that really matters, says the boss of Jenkins Shipping, is the one with the EU. The talks with Brussels, not Biden.
We're 6 weeks away. How much of an influence can he really have in 6 weeks?
So the damage might be done before he can...
We're here now. We are where we are now. What really can Joe Biden do with 6 weeks towards the big day? So, yeah, hopefully he can advise potentially and help enhance any agreement between the EU and the UK.
UK-EU, UK-US. The trade deals are intrinsically linked, though, says this trade expert. The trade expert who has a contract with the government to advise small and medium-sized businesses hoping to export to the US.
I think a Biden administration will be much more keen to understand the UK's position with the EU. So in many ways, it might force a little bit of that agenda. I think the UK, having done a trade deal with the EU, would be much better placed to come to the table with Biden.
While the immediate focus, perhaps unsurprisingly, has been on whether or not it's now more likely that there will be a UK-US trade deal, or even whether or not this might focus the Prime Minister's mind onto getting a UK-EU trade deal, for some here there is an even bigger question. What impact might President Biden have on the reunification of Ireland? Do you think the election of Joe Biden makes a border poll more likely?
He's a big supporter of the peace process and the Good Friday Agreement. And at the heart of the Good Friday Agreement is the principle of consent. The people here will decide. So I expect all guarantors of the Good Friday Agreement to adhere to the principles of the Good Friday Agreement and deliver on what's in the Good Friday Agreement. And at the heart of that is the Unity referendum.
That sounds like a very couched, yes, you do think there's more chance for a border poll.
Well, I think all things are moving in that direction.
Sinn Féin's power-sharing partner, the DUP, weren't available for comment today, but First Minister Arlene Foster wrote to Mr Biden expressing, quote, their hope that Northern Ireland's links to the US will be further strengthened under his presidency. The hope here and in Westminster is those strengthened ties might include at least one trade deal, and soon.
Well, joining me now is Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle, who sits on the House Committee on Ways and Means, which is responsible for international trade agreements. Thanks for coming on the programme again, and congratulations on your re-election, Congressman Boyle.
Thank you.
We are obsessed in Britain, rightly or wrongly, with the so-called special relationship between London and Washington. Is the real special relationship now going to be between Washington and Dublin?
Well, obviously the United States has a close relationship with both the UK and Ireland for different but overlapping reasons. So I don't want to get into a game of, which friend is more important or that sort of thing. The reality is all these relationships are very important to us.
We're always vying for your attention in Washington. OK, well, let me ask this then, more specifically. The Internal Markets Bill, with its provisions on Northern Ireland, break international law, according to its critics. They've been very badly received in Washington right now. If they are not scrapped, is there any hope at all of a trade deal between Washington and London?
Yeah, Matt, as we've discussed before, this is a clear red line for us, from President-elect Biden and Speaker Pelosi to me and many of my colleagues, including on both sides of the aisle. If the UK moves forward with this internal market bill and decides to essentially rip up the withdrawal agreement that it negotiated and signed less than a year ago, then there will be no US-UK trade deal, period.
Period.
Yeah, which, by the way, I believe period is also how Joe Biden concluded his tweet on exactly this subject, addressing this question just about a month or two ago.
Now, Michelle O'Neill, the head of Sinn Féin, said that there might now be, because Joe Biden will be installed in the White House, a referendum on Irish unity. Now, is that a prospect that you welcome, and is it something that the president-elect will work towards?
Well, I think at the moment, what is on everyone's agenda is making sure that the UK and the EU conclude these talks in a constructive way, hopefully reach an agreement that does not in any way breach the Good Friday Agreement, which we seem to have last November, December, and then we can move forward mitigating any potential damage from the UK withdrawing itself of the European Union. That's the immediate concern. Moving forward, though, obviously there are provisions in the Good Friday Agreement that nationalists signed up to more than 20 years ago that show that once there would be a plausible chance of a majority in Northern Ireland choosing unity, that they would have the right to express that in a unity referendum. Again, though, I think what's on the front burner is really the Brexit issue and making sure that we get that right. So I think that that's the immediate concern.
Okay, but very briefly, I know this is a prospect and it's been there in the kind of wings as a possibility, but will you try and encourage it? Will you work towards it? Briefly.
Yeah, in the end of the day, it's up to the people of Northern Ireland themselves to decide this. Now, we all see which way the demographics are going, and the United States will support, to the letter and spirit of the law, the Good Friday Agreement.